Prince Harry headed back to the UK to take on the Mirror newspaper group in court over allegations they hacked his phone, making him the first royal in a century to take the witness stand. And experts are saying the Prince might just get public opinion back on side. Well, we'll see. To give us the inside info, live now from London, Royal Watcher, GB News host Dan Wootton. Of course, he's a Daily Mail Australia columnist as well. Dan, welcome. Ironically, this idea that he could now be the underdog and wins hearts and minds back in the UK, I don't know. I reckon he might have gone too far with some, but maybe that's more Meghan than Harry. You tell us what you think.
I think it's unlikely, Peter. There isn't much public support for what he's doing. And what you've got to remember here as well, this is a landmark day for Harry. And over the past few years, let's just be honest about this, the bloke has not told the truth. In fact, you look at the Oprah Winfrey interview, it was a tissue of lies. You look at the autobiography Spare, and it was his version of the truth. Well, that doesn't stack up in a court of law. He is going to come under cross-examination from the Mirror Group's KC Green, and he can't lie or he purges himself. So I actually think there are big tests for Harry over the next 24 hours. There's a reason, Peter, why he will be the first royal to give evidence in court like this since the 19th century. It's risky. King Charles described it as a suicide mission. The Mirror Group say there is no evidence of phone hacking. Now, look, of course, what went on at those newspapers many, many years ago was wrong. But I'm also well aware of how these cases work, Peter. And what happens is that the lawyers for the claimants like Harry throw every single story into the mix. And many of these stories were coming from legitimate sources, were coming from royal palaces, royal PRs, royal sources. So I actually think it's risky for Harry what could go on over the next 24 hours.
All right, be careful what you wish for. Today in New Zealand's King's Birthday Honours list, that's the first time we're not going to have a Queen's birthday. It will be a King's birthday, of course. Jacinda Ardern, well, she was made a dame, but in accepting the honour, she made the point, I'm still a Republican, she said. Now, you were born a Kiwi, Dan. Still a Republican, but happy to take the gong. Are you surprised?
Oh, my goodness. This is typical Jacinda Ardern, isn't it? She said, I really don't think honours should be about me, but I'm going to accept one anyway, Peter, because everyone in New Zealand has told me that I just must, because I represent them. What baloney. If she was any form of Republican, she would have turned this honour down. I also think it is particularly grim that she is being honoured in part for her work during the COVID pandemic. Well, it is increasingly emerging, we've seen a new report over the past 24 hours, that the draconian-style lockdowns that she inflicted on New Zealand, closing the borders for over 3 years to turn the country into a hermit kingdom, wreaking economic damage, didn't actually save all that many lives, Peter. So I think she might now be Dame Jacinda Ardern. The liberal media might view her as some sort of goddess, but I actually believe Jacinda Ardern's legacy has far more questions than answers. She leaves New Zealand a divided country. She leaves New Zealand split between the vaccinated and the unvaccinated. Of course, many good people who decided not to have the vaccine, including teachers and pharmacists and paramedics and police, lost their jobs as a result of Jacinda Ardern's decision-making, and society there has not recovered. So I think we're going to see a lot of hype about this in the international media. Personally, when it comes to the Republican issue, I think this once and for all, that Ardern is not a woman who stands by her beliefs if it means furthering her own personal celebrity.
What about this story out of the US that there's a Bible, a school district in Utah, which is a Mormon stronghold, that have banned Bibles? They say the Bible is, quote, vulgar and violent. It seems to be a bit of a tit for tat between woke books being banned and now woke parents retaliating, saying, well, we want a conservative book ban, we're going to ban the Bible. What do you think?
I think it's really sad that books are being caught up in the culture war, if I'm completely honest. We've obviously seen the censorship of the likes of great authors like Roald Dahl and Enid Blyton. How ridiculous. Let kids experience the real world. And banning the Bible is going to the next level. All I would say, Peter, is you won't see the woke folk trying to ban the Quran from schools, will you?
No, we won't. Dan Wootton, great to have you as always. Thanks for your time.